Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Derrick, and in today's video we are going to be talking about owning multiple properties in Singapore. I'm sure that if you're watching this right now, you will have thought about this before. And in fact, my assumption will be you are currently working your way towards the goal of owning multiple properties in Singapore. However, with the limited amount of land space that we have, you are faced with heavy ABSD on subsequent ownership of properties. Alright, so here's the cold hard truth. If you are born after the year of 1990, the likelihood of you being able to own more than one property would be very slim, and in fact it will be extremely difficult to do so. I'm not saying that it's impossible and there are people who have done it, but what I'm trying to say that it's a lot more difficult to do so in this current generation as compared to the previous ones. So since you're watching this video right now, I hope that this video would provide you with some form of clarity and also help to propel you forward in your journey in a way that you can be making the right decisions from now, and then down the line 10-20 years later, you'll be seeing yourself sitting on a very solid and super healthy real estate portfolio. How do we actually go about with this? We need to firstly analyze what do we need, and also do we have the capabilities to achieve it. And next, it will be to learn from those people who have done it before. So first up, I think that this is an extremely golden rule. Every single property decision that you make from now, it is highly important because the type of property that you enter into, it will affect the mannerism of you exiting from the property in the future. And also in subsequent purchase, what are you going to be looking at? What are you purchasing into? What kind of quantum you're looking at? Your timeline, your income, your current age, and the list goes on and on. It's not exhaustive. All these factors will be very important as to whether or not you will be able to achieve the goal of owning multiple properties in Singapore. And I'm sure that you have seen many different kind of like sell one, buy two videos on YouTube or social media. Do they make sense? I'm pretty sure yes they do, but is it employable by everybody? No, not so. Not everyone can do what they do, because whatever income that you have, whatever lifestyle as well as whatever living standards or considerations that you have might be very different from those people who will manage to do the sell one and buy two procedures. And of course, watching those videos, there are many hidden factors that is ignored by the viewers, because more often than not, people are blinded by the fact that, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'll achieve it. But you have to understand that there's a lot of different opportunity costs involved, and there are things that you have to forego in order for you to achieve that. So let's rewind a little bit. Instead of talking about the goal of having two different properties, let's focus on the first one, your first property. This first property that you enter into will be a very pivotal instrument that will help to propel you forward closer towards your goal and dreams. So instead of just purely thinking about the potential returns that you can get, the absolute returns that you can get out of the property, a lot of people have forgotten about this one important factor, which is your timeline. Okay, so what do I mean exactly by timeline? So the question will be, would you rather spend 5 years to make 300k, or would you rather spend 3 years to make 200k? And in my take, I believe that the first property that you enter into should be the one that can help you reap the highest amount of returns in the shortest span of time. So to put things into context, let's assume that your age right now is 25 to 35 years old. You're looking at either a BTO, a resale HDB, or a resale condo. Let's leave the new launch condo out of the picture for now. And in terms of cash reserve as well as CPF, you have totaling amount up to about $200,000. What should you do? Let's say you go for the BTO under the standard scheme, which is a 5-year MOP. It will take around 4 to 5 years in terms of the building time. And then after you move in, you have to wait another 5 years for the MOP to be fulfilled. Then you're eligible to sell your unit. So meaning to say, if we were to use 2023 as our base year, we are looking at 2033, then you'll be doing your first transaction of your HDB. So based on the cash and CPF amount that we have assumed previously, we can definitely afford up to a 5-room HDB. And let's assume that the average gains of a BTO can fetch you up to $300,000. So this would mean that you are making $30,000 per year from now. And if we were to compare it with a resale HDB, which means that purchasing it now and I'll be able to sell it 5 years later, and that will be around the year of 2028. And let's assume that the gains that you can get out of the sale will be totaling up to $150,000. It may not reach that figure, it may be lower, it may be higher, it definitely depends. But we are also roughly looking at $30,000 per year but you're gonna get that in 5 years time instead of waiting 10 years. And in that case, what if we were to look at the resale condos instead, the private market? As condos do not have any MOP period to fulfill, we want to look at how to avoid paying the seller stamp duty, and which after 3 years, then that's when the SSD becomes 0%. But let's assume that you have made proper analysis, you are a very savvy property investor and you know what you're looking out for. I believe that it is definitely possible for you to hit $150,000 in terms of capital gains in just 3 years after your purchase. And this would amount to $50,000 per year, and that is within 3 years of your purchase date. So based on these figures that we have discussed earlier on, here's a table that you can take a look for greater clarity. So in this case, within the 10-year period of one's purchase of a BTO, a resale condo owner would have been able to purchase and move 3 times. And assuming that this investor is very savvy and making the right moves every single time, this would total amount up to $450,000 in gains. Whereas for the resale HDB owner, you are looking at around $300,000. What would all this mean for you? And I'm sure there will definitely be people who will say things like, hey, sell lah, lame, $200,000 in your cash and CPF. You even must go for BTO first ma, then you have your pot of gold, then after that then you can do other things with it. Well, if you think that way, you are right. But if you disagree with the statement earlier, you are also right. Because everyone have their own way of thinking, everyone have their own life to lead, there's no right or wrong. And also everyone have our own considerations. Some people prefer certainty, some people prefer to take more risk. So definitely all these things come into play as well in this property journey. Because ultimately, I believe that there's always other alternatives in terms of the journey that you can take to help accelerate this entire procedure. But of course, it's definitely up to the individual's comfort level as well as their domain knowledge and what is their understanding of the real estate market in Singapore. So if you're not in the real estate industry, what I believe that you should do is to find someone that you know and trust to help guide you through this procedure. Don't do it on your own. The downside of you doing it on your own is that there might be some loopholes that you do not know of, and also there might be some blind spots that you might miss. And because of that, that could be a very devastating move in terms of how you're going to propel yourself forward and towards the entire future. And to be frank, what I really hope for all my viewers to be able to achieve is that you guys have a very super healthy and solid property portfolio. I really do not want anyone to have any form of regrets in terms of the property that they purchase. So that's why if you're watching this video, do give this video a like as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and definitely try to make the best feasible decision for yourself to help you in this journey of life. And the perks of having someone supporting you by the side is that you can be the emotional one and they can be the logical one in this case for you. Because as humans, when we want to purchase into something that is of such a big ticket, emotions will definitely be involved. So it's always good to have someone that is more logical that can help you out in this journey and in this process, so that you wouldn't just be overwhelmed by the emotions that you are feeling while you are making your property purchase or your property sale. And more often than not, once the emotions set in, that's when you are going to be set back in your property journey also. And if you want to find out how I help my clients in their property progression journey, feel free to just drop me a DM or comment down below. Happy to work together to help you achieve the property portfolio of your dream. Thanks for watching, take care, stay safe, see you guys in the next video.